Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, thanks for stopping by. I'm Carol and I'm glad to have you here. I hope you will consider subscribing. So today I have another canning video for you. We are heading into cold and flu season, and as I was checking out my pantry to see what I needed to have on my pantry shelf, I saw that I am out of chicken soup. So I thought would be a good time to bring you another video on canning up chicken soup. This recipe is going to be perfect for beginners. I know I have a lot of new people, new canners that follow my channel, so this will be a perfect one for you to start with pressure canning. It's very simple. It's a nice basic chicken soup recipe, and it's fantastic to have on your shelf. Now, we can't add anything to it like noodles or rice or things like that. So this is a great soup that's just a nice base for adding noodles or rice when you open a jar. You can also add a cornstarch slurry and some heavy cream when you open a jar if you'd like a creamy chicken soup, or it's great for making it creamy and then pouring over homemade biscuits. So there's a lot of great ways to use this, and it's obviously fantastic for cold and flu season. For when you're under the weather, you can just pop open a jar and you have a very healthy and nutritious soup on your shelf. So I'm gonna show you how I made this from start to finish, from scratch. For those of you who keep homemade stock on your shelf, you could use jars of stock that you already have on hand. I didn't have any stock on my hand either, so I did this completely start to finish. So to make my stock and cook my chicken, I took a whole 3-pound chicken. I added 6 quarts of water. You want to make sure you add enough water to at least cover your chicken. I added 4 tablespoons of salt, 2 large carrots cut in half, some celery tops, a bunch of fresh parsley, 2 garlic cloves, about a tablespoon of peppercorns, 2 bay leaves, 1 large onion. Gave that a stir, and then I put the lid on that and I cooked it on a low simmer for about 1.5 hours to 2 hours until my chicken was just starting to get tender. You do not want to overcook your chicken making your stock, or it will become dry when you can up your soup. So just keep an eye on it. After about 1 hour, check it, make sure that it is starting to get tender. And once you can pierce it with a fork easily, then you are ready to pull it out. I pulled it out, I stripped my chicken, and I strained my stock through a fine mesh sieve, let it sit overnight and in the refrigerator, and then this morning I skimmed off the fat. We don't want that. We want as little fat as possible in canning, so I skimmed off the fat and then chopped my chicken, and then we were ready to make our soup. As I stated before, this is a very basic chicken soup, so you just need just a few basic ingredients. So like I said, we're gonna need our stock. You're gonna need about 4 quarts or 16 cups of stock. You're going to need 1.5 cups of sliced or diced celery, 1.5 cups of carrots, 1 cup of diced onions, and then about 3 cups of pre-cooked chicken. And that was all of the chicken that was on my carcass that I used to make my stock. You could also use a rotisserie chicken here from the grocery store if you wanted to. You just need 3 cups of pre-cooked chicken, and then whatever seasonings you want to use. Okay guys, we are all ready to get started. To my stock pot, I'm going to add my 3 cups of diced chicken. This was what I had left over from the chicken that I cooked off to make my chicken stock. So that was about 1 3-pound chicken. To that, we are going to add 1 cup of diced onion, 1.5 cups of celery, or diced, however you prefer, 1.5 cups of sliced carrots, and we are going to add 16 cups or 4 quarts of our chicken stock. All right, for my seasonings, I'm going to keep it pretty basic. I'm going to use about 1/2 tablespoon of dried garlic. I'm going to use 1 teaspoon of lemon pepper because I think lemon goes fantastic with chicken and is delicious in chicken soup. So I'm going to use about 1 tablespoon of lemon pepper seasoning. I'm also going to use some dried parsley just because I think it's pretty and it adds a little subtle flavor to the background. So I'm going to add about 1 tablespoon or so of that, the dried parsley flakes. I'm going to add 1 bay leaf, just to amp up my chicken flavor just a little bit, I'm going to use the organic Better Than Bouillon. Ball's recipe does state that you can add some bouillon cubes if you want to enhance the chicken flavor. I prefer the Better Than Bouillon, so I'm going to use, I don't know, a couple teaspoons of the Better Than Bouillon. Seasonings are to taste, of course, so you taste it and add whatever dried spices you would like. So what we're going to do now is I'm going to turn this up on high. I'm going to bring it up to a boil, then reduce it to a very low simmer. We want to make sure our soup is heated through and we've started to cook our veggies just a little bit. So I'm going to turn it up to high, bring it up to a boil, and then reduce my heat and just keep it on a very low simmer for 20 to 30 minutes. I did want to mention that I don't want any of my stock to evaporate, so I'm going to put a lid on my pot. And while this is cooking, I'm going to get my canner and my jars ready. Okay guys, I have slowly simmered my soup for about 20 to 30 minutes. You don't want to overcook it. It's going to obviously cook in your jars. You just want to make sure everything is nice and heated through. So we are all set for canning. I'm using the All-American canner. I do have 3 quarts of simmering water in the bottom of my canner. I have washed my jars in my lids and set them aside, kept them hot. I've got my jars in my canner. I'm keeping them hot. The lids I just washed and set aside. They are ready to use. So we are set for canning. The thing that I did want to mention is, I know I'm way late to the party on this, but I had tons of ball lids to work through. Many of you have been complaining about the ball lids having failed seals. So I am testing out the Superb brand of, I don't know if you can see that, there's a lot of glare, but it is the Superb brand of canning lids. I am trying those out today. I've had them for a while, but like I said, I had a lot of ball lids that I needed to work through. I have not had a lot of seal failures with ball. Many of you complain about them. I've not had that problem really. Maybe a time or two, but not very often. But I have noticed that their sealing compound is not very beefy anymore. The sealing compound for Superb, it looks much thicker than the ball lids as of late. So I'm just gonna give them a try. They are gold in color instead of the silver. I don't know that that matters to anyone, but anyway, we're gonna give them a try today and I'll give you my feedback on those. So I'm gonna bring you in close and we're gonna get started with canning. Okay guys, make sure you taste your soup and you are really happy with the flavor profile of it. If not, adjust it before you can it up. You can can this recipe in pints or quarts. I'm going to be canning in pints since it's only me. So we're going to go ahead and we are going to fill our jars to a 1-inch headspace with our soup. Now I am going to be adding noodles to mine when I open a jar, so I want to make sure that I have plenty of broth in my soup as I can it. So I fill mine about, I don't know, about half full of the solid part, the veggies and the meat, and then the rest I fill with the stock. You don't have to do it that way. I just know that I'm going to add some starch to mine in the form of noodles or rice, so I do like to have the extra broth. So you're going to fill to a 1-inch headspace. Then you're going to take a debubbling tool, plastic butter knife, or chopstick to release any air bubbles. If your headspace changes, you can top off your jar with a little more soup. Then I'm going to take a paper towel dipped in white vinegar to clean my rims. We don't want anything to interfere with getting a good seal. And then I'm going to add my lids to my jars and then add the bands to fingertip tight. You don't want them too tight, just till you start to feel some resistance. Then in the canner they go. Okay guys, I filled 8 pint-sized jars. I don't know if I mentioned before, but this recipe is from the ball canning website. It's probably also in one of the ball canning books. And that's what they said we should get. I had a little bit left over, probably enough for another pint, but it was pretty much, the amounts are pretty much spot on for either 4-quart jars or 8 pints. I do want to mention for those of you who are new, if you would cut this recipe in half, some people like to can in smaller batches. For pressure canning, you have to have a minimum of 4 pint jars or 2 quart jars in order for proper processing. So make sure you are aware of that when you are pressure canning. So we have a full canner here. I'm going to add a couple of tablespoons of white vinegar to my canning water. I always do that when I'm pressure canning, or at least I try to remember to do that, because there are minerals in our water that will collect on the outside of your jars when you're canning, during the canning process, and it can make your jars look cloudy. If you add a little bit of vinegar to your water, it doesn't do that. So that's why I do that. So we're going to add our lid. I'm going to line up, for the All-American canner, you line up the arrow on the lid with the notch on the pot. You want to get the lid as straight as possible. And then you're going to tighten the thumb screws 2 at a time, opposites. All right, so I'm going to crank my heat up to high until I have steam coming out of my vent. We want to allow the canner to vent, which means a steady stream of steam coming out of the vent here. You want that to happen for 10 minutes. After 10 minutes, we can put our weight on. When we get there, I will bring you back. Okay guys, I've been venting for 10 minutes. Again, that means there's been a steady stream of steam coming out of my steam vent for 10 minutes, which is appropriate for pressure canning. I am going to be adding my weight to 10 psi, which is what is appropriate for my altitude. Make sure you know your altitude and you know what adjustments you need to make. So I'm going to go ahead and add my weight to 10 psi. If you are using a dial gauge canner, you're going to be canning at 11 psi. When my weight starts rocking and rolling, that is when I will start my processing time. For most weighted gauge canners, such as the All-American canner, your weight should rock 1 to 3 times a minute, which means it should rock and then stop and then rock and then stop, and that should happen about 3 times a minute. You don't want it rocking too hard throughout the canning process. So once it starts rocking 1 to 3 times a minute, you want to slowly adjust your heat just to maintain that. You don't want it rocking constantly. Now, that is what's true for the All-American canner. If you have another canner, such as the Presto, I know that the rocking is supposed to be different. So make sure that you read the manufacturer's instructions that comes with your canner so that you know how your weight is supposed to rock appropriately. So I'm processing in pints, so I'm going to process for 75 minutes. If you are processing in quarts, you're going to process for 90 minutes. When we get there, I'll bring you back. Okay guys, we are all done. I processed for 75 minutes, which is what is appropriate for pint jars. If you're processing in quarts, you're going to process for 90 minutes. Once my processing time was over, I turned off my heat, let my canner return to 0 pressure, removed my weight, waited 5 to 10 minutes more, took the lid off, and then let my jar sit another 10 to 15 minutes in my canner. The slower that you allow them to cool, the better. It helps to prevent siphoning. Anyway, so we are all done now, and there's my beautiful chicken soup. Just delicious. Like I said, you guys, it's perfect just the way it is. You can doctor it up with noodles or rice when you open a jar. You can also add a cornstarch slurry, thicken it, and then add some heavy cream and have a creamy chicken soup. It's just fantastic. Great to have on your shelf. If you have any comments or questions for me, feel free to leave them in the comment section below. You can check out all the details in the description box below my video. I hope that you have a fantastic day, and I will see you next time.